Hi friends, in this video we are going to discuss about how your Spring Boot application will work. So in our previous videos we created a Spring Boot application, right, by using Spring Initializer. Now, so here you no need to create any project. So by using the Spring Initializer, means Spring Boot Initializer, you need to specify the dependencies. So your Spring Initializer will gives you a readily available Spring Boot project. So just download that one into your local machine and import that into one of your IDE. Might be it's a STS, means Spring Tool Suite or Eclipse. Either of the one is fine. And you can use other tools also. So, but in this example, I am using a STS. So STS is a IDE which built on top of your Eclipse. So it's a similar to Eclipse. So now if you import the project, so this is a project structure created by your Spring Initializer only. You are not doing anything. So already we discussed this part. Let's have it. So quickly. So now see it's created the all the POM file with required dependencies. As of now we are using only one dependency. So that is Spring Boot Starter Web, the minimum dependency we need to have to work with your Spring Boot application. So this is a parent. So who is a parent? So just like a this is a parent. So your project, whatever the project you are creating, is a child project of this project. So if you are talking about inheritance in your Java, so same scenario. So parent class and child class. So parent and child class. Child class. Inheritance is a process by which one class can acquire the properties of other class. So if you are having the properties, parent is having some properties. So child is a subclass of parent. So then child can use parent methods as well as its own methods. So same way. So so inheritance is one of the OOPS concepts. So same way, your project is a child project of your project. So this is your parent for your project. So your project will get all the properties of your Spring Boot. So what are the dependencies you have added? So that will be auto configured. So how it will be auto configured? So if you go to here, so you will able to see one file. So this is a one. So let me maximize the font size. Font Java. So edit text. I want to increase the font size so that it will be visible clearly. See, I have increased the font size. Now see, if you look into this, this is a main class from where your Spring Boot application execution starts. So here it will have a main method, public static void main, and here it will call the Spring Boot application. So now, so it will execute the things. Now, so how your Spring Boot framework knows from where we need to start the execution. See, this is the annotation you need to use. So it will check for this annotation, and from there it will start the execution of your Spring Boot application. So Spring Boot application @ Spring Boot application annotation. If you look into this annotation, click it once again. If I look into this annotation, so it's a so if I look into this, see, it's a combination of this is the annotation, main annotation, from where your Spring Boot application execution starts. So this is the main annotation. So and which will internally contains Spring @ Spring Boot configuration and enable auto configuration and component scan. So This annotation internally contains 3 more annotations. So component scan, yes. If you are familiar with your Spring application, yes, you know component scan. So if you remember in our previous projects, so we used to give component scan base package. So that is nothing but component scan. So here from where it needs to read the files. So if you remember your Spring applications, there we used to have component scan base package. So we are going to specify something. So this works as same. So and here enable auto configuration. So it will enables all your configurations automatically. You no need to do anything. And Spring Boot configuration. So it will do all the Spring Boot configurations for you. So this annotation is nothing but a combination of 3 annotations. Instead of giving 3 annotations, so we are giving 1 annotation. So now, if you want to create another packages, so I want to create one more package here. So see here, so this is a package. So I want to create one more DAO layer, one more service layer, or some other layers. So all the packages should be sub packages of this package. If you create a package out from here, so outside this package, your Spring Boot framework won't be able to identify that package. Please remember this. If you want to create any packages, so your project is contain different layers like service layer, DAO layer, like different layers if it contains, then all the packages should be sub packages package of this package. Say component.exp sorry com.exp.spring boot demo. If you create a package here outside this package, then your Spring Boot won't be able to identify those packages and the classes present in that package, because your component scan starts from the base package. So what is a base package? So this is your base package. So it will it will scans all the packages from this package only. If the package containing outside this, so your Spring Boot won't be able to identify. Remember this. So if I want to create one more package, then create inside this. Okay. Now, so now, so till here clear, I hope. Now, so let me run this. So how to run? So run Spring Boot application. So see, right click here on the project, run Spring Boot application, or else right click here. If you are not able to see some Eclipse, I hope you may not be able to see this option in the Eclipse. So come to the main file, right click and run Spring Boot application. So now this is a main file from where your Spring Boot execution starts. Now run it, Spring Boot application. If you see the console, so your Spring Boot application started, means execution got started, and here we are not using any server. See, do you have added any server? No, because Spring Boot, one of the functionality of Spring Boot is Spring Boot comes with embedded Tomcat server, so you no need to add any servers to your Spring Boot application. Let's see. Already we discussed this part, but let me show you one more time. So embedded Tomcat server. So these are all the jars downloaded depending on this parent version. See, okay. So if you look into this, I will show you that. If you look into this, see, this is a version From where you are getting this? From the parent. See, sorry, here we have mentioned. So see, it's displaying. What is the Spring version you are using? Console. So this is the version we have specified in the parent, and what is the Java version it is using? And what is the default port number it's using? So 8080. So your application started at 8080. And it is internally using Apache Tomcat server of version 9.0.39. So we have not added any Tomcat server, but your Spring Boot default Spring Boot parent will download the Tomcat dependency and it will add automatically. So you no need to add anything. Let me show you that embedded Tomcat. Spring Boot starter. See, embedded Tomcat server. It's internally downloads and your Spring Boot parent will take care of everything. So you no need to add anything. Now your application is started. So how to hit the request? So go to here. Okay, let it be. I will go to my Postman, or else let me go to my Firefox. So here I have added a REST plugin to my Firefox. So let me open. So it's taking some time. Give me 1 second. Yes. So see, here I have added, you can use either anyone is fine. So you can use Postman or Firefox with REST plugin. That also you can use. So now I am using REST client for Firefox browser. So we'll see Postman also we can use. So now, so your application is started. So where it is running in the local host, HTTP local host. So what is the port number? So 8080. If I hit this, see, nothing is happening. So default method assume host. So then also 404. You are getting 404 error. Yes, file not found. Why we are getting this 404? 400 bad request, 404 file not found. Okay. Because here, if you look into this, here we have added only this class, which acts as a main class for your Spring Boot. But to handle the incoming request, you need to have one controller. We have not added any controller. That's why it is unable to find the controller to handle the incoming request, and that's why it's throwing 404 error. 404 means file not found. So if you look into your Spring Boot application, Spring application, if you remember, okay, so everything, the incoming request is handled by dispatch servlet. So the dispatch servlet creates, for each request, it will create request handler mappings. So that request handler mapping will identify the particular controller, and the request will be routed to the controller. The controller will handle the incoming request, and it will perform your business logic. And after that, it will send the view to appropriate model view, and the model view displays the required UI. So this is a thing. So but here, so if you are talking about your Spring application, so where you are configuring this dispatcher servlet. So if you remember, so you need to use web.xml. In the web.xml, we are going to configure dispatcher servlet. But here, if you are using Spring Boot, we no need to configure any XMLs like web.xml or or -solid.xml. Like that. If you want to do some configurations, yes, here application.property file is there. There you can configure all your application related configurations. So this is a good basic example. So how to create a controller, how the controller will handle the incoming request, all those things we'll see it in next video.